Welcome. Welcome to this very first episode of Begin Anywhere, where we look at beginning where we are at in the present moment with less script and with more presence. My name is Irina and I've gone a long way on this road of wanting to know, wanting to grow, and I have reached a phase in my life where it seems like unlearning and being in the present moment and creating from it has become more significant. And I would like to share this with you. I am a human being. I am a coach, a mentor, a supervisor. I hold space for other people individually, collectively. I coach human beings, I coach groups, I coach relationships, I coach teams. I get to hold space for other people and I get to hold space for myself. And this is part of the lens that I'm coming from today. And these podcasts, these episodes, will be a perspective, an exploration into a topic without a script, with a certain level of awareness, with a certain perspective on it from life experience, and with many questions to invite you to explore and to invite you to begin. And beginning doesn't have to be big. I am learning to begin small and to begin in the present moment. And what a relevant point of this step and this journey today to talk about beginnings and endings. This will be the topic for today. I will talk about it for a little while, maybe 10-15 minutes, and then finish with some questions. Questions for you, questions for me, questions for the world, and share this in the imperfect form and format it will look like. Not because I don't care about quality, I do very much. And what this is all about is aliveness, creativity, awareness, and sparking something somewhere. Sparking something from my moment to your moment, from where I am at to where you are at. Whoever you are listening, I'm meeting you somewhere, and I'm really grateful to be able to connect with you in this way. In a way, beginnings and endings are very interconnected. In the black and white, like perfect world, we would end something and then begin something new. And then we'll be in the new thing and the old thing will have ended. And in the human world, in the world of the human condition and human experience, it doesn't quite work this way, does it? We are in the process of becoming all the time. We are in the process of ending and beginning all the time. Even the most trivial example of finishing breakfast and then half an hour later, an hour later, thinking about the coffee we couldn't finish drinking because we had to leave. And part of us is still in the ending of this experience, whatever it might be. And part of us is always beginning something new. It's this process of flow. And there are very, very small, tiny moments of endings and beginnings every day. And there are these very big moments of endings and beginnings. Some of them are consciously chosen. Some of them happen through us without us choosing them. And all of them create something in us. They stir something in us. And I'm curious about this moment of what comes up in us when we go through endings and beginnings. And the reason I bring this here is also very specific. I had a very impactful space held for me last week in a supervision setting, and all of a sudden something came up, a big emotion came up for me, a big emotion related to grief, sadness, was very present in the space with some emotion related to it that I knew it wasn't from the now. And upon reflection and looking deeper, I realized it's very much related to an ending I thought I had completed fully. And this year, a few months ago, I left a job. I left an organization after 17 years, and I stepped into a new identity of being self-employed, of building my own business. And it was very much a conscious choice. And at the same time, what I can do for others and what I believe I'm really good for others is to hold space for them as they go through transitions. And you notice how I start speaking faster? Because there is something quite vulnerable in what I'm trying to say. And it's that sometimes I don't hold space for myself as much. And with all the excitement of starting something new, I did marginalize part of the completion for me. And part of the completion was the grief work around ending a chapter, ending part of myself. This part of my identity that was an employee in an organization I had a lot of respect for, I built meaningful human relationships in, and that I felt I belonged at a certain level. I had an impact. I had created something there, or many things, within the 17 years I spent there. And major life events happened. I fell in love, I became a mom, I became a partner in a meaningful relationship, I supported family members, I had the chance and created opportunities for myself to travel, to speak in many different countries about my work, what I care about. I had many coaching hours, I mentored, I volunteered. I was very present in this space, and this space was a container for me to grow and to become more of who I was. And I let go of it. I stepped out. And with all the excitement of this step, there was so much grief happening in me. And I can feel it coming a little bit. It's letting go of all these human connections in the context of the organization. And I am 100% sure the connections stay, and yet I no longer am part of what the organization is about. I can't just simply click somewhere and chat with someone at the other end of the world and have a meaningful conversation just because we're part of the same organization. It's a different perspective being outside. And obviously, I knew all of that rationally. And the emotional process of letting go, it just has its own pace and its own rhythm. It's like music to me. Like the metaphor of music came very strongly now. It's like letting the music of whatever the emotions are inform you and deepen your experience and awareness of what is happening at this very moment and how is this impacting all of my experience in life, because it has and it still is. And this supervision session became even more meaningful as I did the reflection work afterwards. I journaled, I reconnected with who I was before I left, or right when I made the decision to leave, and who I'm becoming now. What was I letting go of? What part of me and my identity was I letting go of to step into something that I was called to do differently. And all of this is not to draw attention to how difficult transitions can be and the emotional experience. It's to draw attention to it being part of our human condition and human experience. And it's always unique for each and every one of us. And what I believe is universal is that there is something, or quite often there are many things that want to be seen and acknowledged, want to be listened to and given space before we can fully step into something new. And maybe one question at this point that comes up very spontaneously is, what is ending for you today? And what is beginning? And how are you in these transitions? I think deeper reflection is incredibly enriching, and it can have a very specific impact on our day-to-day lived experience, in how we feel, in how we approach life, in how we approach anything new that's coming up and emerging in life. And I believe a lot of these changes can be quite unsettling, and they're very meaningful. They come for a reason. And what I'm noticing in my own transition process is how much a big change can shift in us, internally, in our outer world, and how space shifts, how relationships shift, and how when everything moves at the same time, it can feel quite ungrounded. And I'm curious, I can't have a conversation with any of you directly here, and this is probably one of the drawbacks of recordings. I wish I could ask, I wish I could have a lively discussion now, and I would hope this will spark something for you. Maybe it will spark a reflection, maybe it will spark a wish to look deeper. Maybe it will spark a different level of awareness of what's here now, today, that's informed by an ending, a recent ending, or a past ending many years ago that's still lingering in the space. And what is it that wants to emerge so I can fully complete an experience? Knowing that you can always reconnect to it if you choose to, if you consciously choose to. And what can it be that you can begin this week? You can begin anywhere, and you can begin in a light, and deep, and unique, and authentic way for you. I know it can be a big question. It has been a huge question for me all these years of planning and wanting to share more with the world and to start a podcast and to do this and that. And I always thought there needs to be this big, huge step. And part of me still thinks this way. And this is my own ending and beginning. Ending the part of me for this moment that believes planning in a very detailed, very precise, meticulous way is what needs to happen before I take the step. And there is this part of me coming up saying, and why not begin today? Like, what would stop me from beginning today? As imperfect as it is, and as alive as it is in this very moment. I think I would end the episode here and begin something new as soon as I press the button. And I wish you a wonderful ending and beginning, whatever you are at this very moment. And I hope you'll join me next time for the next episode, for another ending and beginning, or beginning and ending, however you want to look at it. Thank you very much for listening, and I would love to hear from you. If you feel like, you can always comment, send me a note, send me an email, and I'm just one click away.